You're watching To The Point, and with you is Anjana Om Kashyap, a lawless, savage, brutal, inhuman, barbaric army. Just some adjectives that truly define the Pak army. They mutilated the bodies of 2 of our martyred Jawans. A day ago, Pak army chief visits LOC. And today, their army shows the true colors of unimaginable brutality, which has now become the very identity of the Pak army. Even as the country mourns, there is anger that their bodies have been mutilated in such a brutal way. Taking you a day back, where Pak Army Chief General Bajwa again raised the K rant and spewed venom over the Kashmir issue. No surprise that a day later, the bodies of these 2 Jawans, Paramjit Singh and Prem Chand, have been mutilated. We openly call it today. We brazenly want to call it today the Pak Butcher Army. And joining me on this debate is Syed Mohammad Tariq Pirzada, political and security analyst, straight from Pakistan. And we have with us Commodore retired G.J. Singh, defense analyst from Bangalore. Joining me will be G.D. Bakshi and P.V.L. Narasimha Rao from the BJP. Coming to you first, Mr. Tariq Pirzada. The question is very simple. You have defied the Geneva Conventions before, but again you do it a day after your chief visits LOC. What kind of a barbaric, brutal, inhuman army does this? This tantamounts to war crime, and doing this on the border shows that so many decades after independence, you have reached a stage where your army defines the very motive of your entire country, which today has become savage and unimaginably brutal, Mr. Pirzada.
You know, Anjana, I heard you over the years, but you know, this is too much. You are lying to the teeth. You are representing an army which is a slayer army, a murderous army. It has murdered 260
How can you
Kashmiris
blatantly lie today, Tariq Pirzada? I have the names and the pictures of the 2 Jawans. I have the names and the pictures of the 2 Jawans. You listen to me today. Be it Captain Kalia or Lance Naik Hemraj. Today the 2 pictures are up there on the screen. Listen to me for a moment. Open your eyes and ears and listen to this country. Listen to us. You have slowly and surely turned into an army which is totally uncontrollable. Mr. Pirzada, your country's army today is totally uncontrollable. Do you hear me? Do these words reach some place of wisdom somewhere in your head? Do you understand what this means? You are mutilating the bodies of army officers and Jawans. This is no civil behavior.
In the Geneva Convention that would declare lying on issues of war as a crime too. And today I would have held you as a
Commodore G.J. Singh, I want you to come in here. Now we are showing visuals of these 30 new terrorists who have uploaded this video. They are roaming around in Shopia today. This is their game plan.
Who is roaming around?
The terrorists are being pushed into the country, and on the border, their Pak chief comes in, gives straight orders, and then today the bodies of our martyred Jawans are mutilated like this. G.J. Singh sir.
You don't use the word martyr for your soldiers. The word shaheed is used for the Muslims, number 1.
Oh, come on, Tariq Pirzada, come on.
Number 1.
Come on, Tariq Pirzada.
Pay attention now. You must listen to others also.
Listen to us, Mr. Singh. Mr. Pirzada, listen to us. Mr. Singh, please go ahead, sir.
You have been
Mr. G.J. Singh, please go ahead.
Terror. You have been trying to break the spirit of our great soldiers. You are trying to break the spirit of the courage of our Jawans.
I'll come to you, Mr. Pirzada. Wait for your turn.
But let me tell you, this kind of tactics is not going to work with us.
Absolutely.
This kind of tactics is not going to work because you are experts in fabricating lies. You see the daylight and you call it darkness. It is very difficult to convince you, because whole of Pakistan is built upon lies, fabrications, deception, laying up traps. And let me tell you, Mr. Pirzada, that the footprint of terrorism across the world can be seen of Pakistan. Either they are Pakistan-trained terrorists, or they are Pakistanis, whether it is California, whether it is Malaysia, whether it is Saudi Arabia, whether it is Bangladesh, whether it is Afghanistan, whether it is in India. Their footprint is everywhere. Your state has to learn soldiering under the Geneva Convention. There are ethics, there are methods, there are rules, moral obligations when you are fighting a war with another country. You don't mutilate body. This is one of the lowest. It's a new low in the history of military that you are causing. And let me tell you that although your army chief visited yesterday, and he gave, under his instructions, they have stepped up the activities against us, but this is not going to deter us. We are going to give you a befitting reply. And let me tell you that this time the action that we take will be far stronger, out of the box. You will not know what has hit you, what has hit you, and it will be totally devastation for you.
I want to get in Major General retired G.D. Bakshi now. G.D. Bakshi, I see a complete plan in this. We have to look into Pakistan and its situation right now. After that, Jivel Narasimha Rao, I'm going to come to you. General Bakshi, I have with me this article. Now, this is an article in the Dawn by Cyril Almeida, because of which there is huge unrest in Pakistan between the government and the army. Now, this article clearly stated that in fear of being isolated on the international platform, the Pakistan government was actually asking the army to bring Hafiz Saeed and Maulana Mansoor Raza of the Jaish-e-Mohammed out and to put them in the limelight and to bring all their whatever terrorism they've been doing till now, all the sponsoring of terrorism by these two men of Lashkar and Hizbul out in the open.
How does this
Mr. Pirzada, why are you so scared? You seem to be really scared because you're ranting without any understanding of what we are talking about. Please listen to me. Mr. Bakshi, in this fear, Pak Army Chief goes to the LOC. Absolutely. In this scare and fear, Pak Army Chief goes to the border, and today we see this happening where two of our martyred Jawans and their bodies are mutilated. Do you also see this pattern? It's a scared army trying to up the ante against the government and therefore resorting to all this.
You know, Anjana, as an old soldier, when we got news that the Pakistani army chief was visiting the line of control and he was being shown visibly with his troops planning, you know, reconnoitering the areas, we were expecting that there would be some consequences that would emerge from this. Some planning would have been done with the field commanders and something of consequence would happen. We are amazed to see that it is a third-rate response, like using a border action team, 90% of which comprises of terrorists and criminals who go around looking for isolated 1 or 2 men detachments, get them, kill them, and then start doing a ghoulish war dance with their bodies. These are despicable, you know, scum of the earth.
We would like to rather kill
One did not expect the Pakistani army chief to come all the way to the line of control, and then do a thing like this. As far as this gentleman is concerned, if you can call him that, he is a nincompoop. He knows nothing about the army. He knows nothing about military etiquette and culture. He just is there to constantly try and rant and rave.
You can rock back and forth on your chair, but learn to listen. Learn to listen.
Look at him.
Yes.
You don't know anything about the strength of India.
That's a nervous. That's a nervous Tariq Pirzada.
Just lower his voice out. He makes a
because he knows how low his army has gone. He's aware of how low his army has gone.
as
It's
I have
shameful.
studied them.
It's shameful that in all these
Despicable
decades after
character.
independence, Pakistan has come back to this. Your army
You
chooses
guys
to
have no
mutilate
place to show
Jawans.
anybody. You are the
It's
slayers
shameful,
of Gandhi. You
Mr.
are the
Tariq
slayers
Pirzada.
of Indira
It's
Gandhi.
shameful. PV
You are the
Narasimha Rao.
slayers of Rajiv Gandhi.
It's shameful, Tariq Pirzada Sahab. Let it be very clear to Pakistan and Pakistan's army. It's shameful behavior. And you're at a situation when the world is going to actually isolate your country because of the behavior of your army. This is no behavior on the international platform. GVL Narasimha Rao.
Samjhauta Express, you have set free all those bunch of murderers,
GVL Narasimha Rao.
Anjana,
Yes,
I
sir.
think it's a
The only murderers
despicable
around are
act
the ghouls
by
that
a
you
desperate
have sent
army.
across the LC.
And after having carried out such activities, I think they are cowards. They can't even accept. I think if you this, I think earlier we thought the Pak army. Can I just get in? Can you remain quiet for a while, Mr. Jada, Pirzada? I think when you earlier, I think we talked about terrorist organization being an extension of your army. Today we see your army. Your army is itself a terrorist outfit. I think your army has to be declared a terrorist army.
My God.
Because not only you support terror organizations, terror outfits, but you are indulging as a terrorist army yourself.
Pakistan army
I think you have no shame. You have no shame, and you are covered after having carried such a nasty act. If you have any shame, if you have any respect,
Absolutely.
own up this aspect, own up this activity.
Anjana,
Yes,
this
yes.
man is delusional.
I totally agree with you. I totally
He's a
agree with you
psychiatric wreck.
because
And
you're
the
not
action
ready to
hasn't
answer
started.
the real questions. You're not ready to answer the real questions, Tariq Pirzada. I have a very simple question for you, which all our three panelists from India are raising. Why shouldn't the Pak army be declared a terror outfit? Because no army man across the world behaves like this. To mutilate dead bodies.
Assure you.
To mutilate dead bodies. Only Pak army can do that.
Mutilate bodies.
Why shouldn't it be declared a
return
terror
your living
outfit?
people. Return your pilot whom we captured in Siachen. We return your soldier who crossed the line of control alive back to you just a few months ago. You guys have ungrateful people.
We know how
Tariq
you
Pirzada.
returned Captain
We know
Saurabh
how you
Kalia.
return them.
All right, Tariq Pirzada, everybody in this country knows how and in what state you returned the body of Captain Saurabh Kalia.
And Lance Nayak Hemraj. We know all that. We know all that. GJ Singh Saab,
So
go
don't
ahead.
teach us.
And all the
Must not allow you
intelligence
to fabricate
agencies
facts.
in the world know
Must not allow.
that the ISIS fighters are being trained by the Pakistan army. All those ISIS fighters or terrorists are either trained by the Pakistan military officers or their JCOs or their Jawans who have retired.
Yes.
They are the ones who are preparing terrorists across the world. This is a known fact. Mr. Pirzada should know this. It is a terrorist army. It goes without saying. It is not a professional army like any other army in the world. They follow no rules, regulations, so much so that in the recent past, their Foreign Secretary, Mr. Aziz Tariq, he said that we do not come under Geneva Convention when it comes to giving a consular access to Commander Kulbhushan.
Absolutely.
They even deny that they are under no agreement. They are running army on their own Islamic version, I would say, version of Islam. It is not the true Islam. It
Answer
is
that,
the
Tariq
Islam of their
Pirzada
own,
Sahab. I come to you
imagination.
with a very
that
clear
again.
question. I come to you with a very clear
what is the
question.
question?
Be patient enough to listen to my question first before you start answering. Why shouldn't the Pak army be declared a rogue terrorist army? Because they choose to stick to the K rant because they think they're going to remain relevant and be worshipped for all the atrocities they do against India and the K rant. Why don't you realize after so many decades that if it doesn't open, it's just not your door? Kashmir does not in any way want to go towards Pakistan after so many decades. Why don't you understand this? Go back to your business, try and get Pakistan together and move forward. Look at what you're doing today. You are being isolated by the world because of your behavior, because Pak army thinks they can openly, listen to me sir, they can sponsor terror. Hafiz Saeed, Maulana Masood Azhar get direct help and patronage from the Pakistan army, and that is why they are surviving. Pakistan actually fears isolation because of your army. Why shouldn't your army be declared terror?
First of all, all right, Anjana, stop your lecture. Let me answer you briefly in 30 seconds. Let me give you an answer in 20 seconds. First of all, Pakistan and China have isolated India in South Asia.
Oh, come
you
on.
are a lone wolf in this region. I don't care about the small country like Bangladesh or any other, dwarf state in this region. I consider India, Pakistan, and China as the only three relevant countries.
Its population is larger than yours.
If isolated India has nowhere to go. Number one. Number two, Washington agrees with Pakistan.
All the countries isolated you, and you're telling us. You're telling us.
Mr. Trump,
when will Pakistan start looking inwards at the implosion happening in your country?
No, the U.S. representative at the UN,
at what
but she said,
army is doing.
She said we have to do something before things get out of hand in Kashmir and in South Asia. So get ready. Number three, President Erdogan, who is now in India, he just said that we would like to play a role on the issue of Kashmir. And
he said that
your 20 seconds are over. No convincing answers. Now you're going out of the syllabus. Now you're going out of the syllabus. Now you're going out of the syllabus. You're actually not even prepared for what the questions are. You're out of the syllabus always. Writing answers about some foreign land. Listen, we're asking you hard questions on your army's behavior today. Do not dare to go out of the syllabus. Give us answers on that. We have 2 names and 2 pictures up there on the screen. Tariq Pirzada. Don't waste 20 seconds, 40 seconds, 60 seconds.
We don't need to behead your soldiers because we don't have time for that. We are Muslims, we respect human body, and we don't care about these dirty allegations that Indian people understand that you're leveling as an agent of some agency to show.
Let an army man respond to you. Jiri Bakshisa.
Anjana,
yes, sir, go ahead.
I am very sorry to state this man suffers from delusions of grandeur. I was with him on some other panels where the people of Baluchistan were talking of the rapes, the torture, the atrocities, the killing of their people and throwing of dead bodies in the streets. And this man started laughing like a maniac. His sole contribution to debates is disruptive. He lacks knowledge. Military knowledge he has is laughable. I would rather advise him to go and learn something from his own soldiers and his army before he starts talking on military topics. And let me inform you, Mr. Pirzada, you wait till tomorrow morning and you wait for the coming few days. You are going to be taught a lesson in manners. We will teach your army a lesson in manners as to how the ethos of an army is maintained. All right? And you will be out of it. We don't waste ammunition on useless jokers like you.
And he has also
we don't have to waste ammunition on absolute inconsequential nincompoops. Absolute inconsequential nincompoops. Your contribution to this debate has only been disruptive and psychotic. Please get some real soldier to come and talk to our soldiers.
Absolutely.
Please get some real soldiers who have worn a uniform, who know what soldiering is all about, before you lecture us on military ethics, all right?
cowardly statement. All right,
Real
I
soldiers.
invite you.
For 37 years, I
surgical
put a
strike
uniform
as
and
your-
I put 350
Yes, you are
Pakistanis and
coward.
terrorists under the ground. By the way, Mr. Pirzada, it's just for your information.
You
can file it somewhere.
You are a terrorist army. You are the state
And
sponsor of
we
terror.
are not impressed by your psychotic behavior. You actually need to see a doctor. Mr. Pirzada, you actually are seriously concerned about your psychological state of mind and your health. You need to check your blood pressure. You please check your blood pressure. Put your finger on your pulse. You
This
are
is the kind
erratic.
of, you know, Tariq Pirzada
You
in many
are
ways portrays the kind of
absolutely
madness that
erratic.
we are dealing with when we deal with a country like Pakistan. What is our preparation?
You deal
How-
with the enemy with
how are we
total
going
power.
to how are
And
we
we
going
are
to take this
use
hands on, because the
total
army has
power.
said we will avenge their deaths.
Unconventional.
The defense minister came out saying that we have full faith in our army, we are going to avenge this
His
mutilation.
idea of a debate,
How will we go
Anjana,
about this?
is to rant and rave
because you don't
and
have the
drown
power.
out all
Your
steps
army is lying to
out of
you.
the
We
discussion.
will
No,
crush you.
Anjana.
Mr. Pirzada, Mr. Pirzada, please.
Anjana, the
I think
problem
this,
with
the
Pakistani
guests from
debater,
Pakistan, the guests
like
from
Pirzada
Pakistan
is-
only come here to disturb debates.
Yeah.
And they all speak in one voice. They speak like they speak like the spokespersons for the terrorist outfits in Pakistan. They don't even speak for the government in Pakistan.
Yes.
They are, I don't know,
I don't
whether
speak
it's
They are the
for
fear
parrots of a
or
rogue
it's
army.
they're brainwashed. We don't know. But
Use
people
your
who come
head.
on television,
You speak.
they speak as
You speak
spokespersons
for
of the terror
You
army.
speak for a
Absolutely.
We cannot expect
Can
any
you
sense
lower the
from
volume a
them.
little, please?
They don't have the audacity to accept what they do at the ground level.
And also, and I'm an analyst, and
They
you guys are
indulge in
not.
cowardly
You are bunch of
acts.
propagandists.
Unlike cowards, they don't even own up these acts.
Oh, come on. The murderers.
Okay, now
and
we
the
are dealing
people
with
who
an
set and
army
place
which
the
cannot be
They are
called
talking about
army in a
peace,
professional
peace,
sense.
rules
You are
of
dealing
war,
with a country
Geneva Convention.
which cannot be called
Come on,
a country
you
by
guys-
normal definition.
You're talking
It's a country
of this
that
propaganda.
doesn't have
Pakistan is
anything
going to have
doesn't
liberated
have any government of any respectability. The Prime Minister is under a shroud. He is under the influence of the army. People like Hafiz Saeed seem to be commanding both the army and the civilian government. So it's a country that is completely in throes of chaos. I think you're dealing with such a neighbor, and it only possibly understands only one way. We have shown a sample of it through surgical strikes. I think it's the actions of our army which will speak louder than words. I don't think I'm in a position to articulate a verbal response. The real response will come from the Indian army.
Yes.
I think let them be prepared for it. No nation in the world
GJ
will
Singh
stand
Saab, what
with
should
this
be our
rogue
response?
nation.
What
Because
should be
they
our
have followed,
response? Because few months ago we did a
violated
surgical
all
strike. This is not
rights.
even murder.
Yeah.
Now this
I
is
challenge you.
mutilating bodies
Anjana, as I
after
said,
our jawans are martyred.
As I
Shows there is
said earlier,
some kind of next level of madness in the Pak army right now. What should our strategy be, GJ Singh?
you see, I would say that now we will have to start thinking something new. If we want different results, we will have to, start thinking out of the box. We will have to, change the route, needs a course correction when it comes to dealing with Pakistan. We have been acting in a very disciplined way earlier. We have sent a strong message to them earlier at the time of surgical strike that look, if you don't behave yourself, we will carry out deep surgical strike on you.
Yeah.
But to my mind, it seems that Pakistan is not going to learn anything from these things, and we just cannot continue with their provocations on a regular basis. We are a very tolerant nation, we're a very tolerant country, but it should not be mistaken as a weak state. It should not be mistaken as if we are soft peddling with Pakistan. And I think, as I always say, that there is a time for war and peace. There is a time now that we open out with them and using our air force as well on attacking their terrorist camps, and the terrorist camps in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, because fundamentally that part is our part on which they are sitting. So we are entitled, we are eligible to carry out surgical strike using our helicopter gunships, and carrying out dealing with them with a heavy hand and put constant pressure on them, because they will learn only in a military way.
Yes. Point well made, sir. General Bakshi now.
Okay. Anjana.
Yes, sir.
Anjana, I would like to state that your response has to be in a language that the Pakistani army understands. They are the real power behind the throne. The democratic dispensation is a cosmetic facade. We have to talk to the Pakistan army in a language that it understands. We have a whole range of options. We must persist with those options till the time that the Pakistani army understands that there will be costs and consequences for its erratic behavior.
There will be costs and consequences for its erratic behavior. A statement with which I want to end to the point today. Tariq Pirzada, if you've heard that, the consequences Pak army should be prepared for. On that note, we want to end this debate. Mahatma Gandhi had once said, don't walk our minds with your dirty feet. A man your country chose to forget. We kept him in our hearts, and look where we've reached ahead, marching, and look where you've reached. In so many decades after independence, you have traveled in the reverse direction, and Pak army today stands as a terror outfit, a rogue army that mutilates the bodies of Jawans of other countries. You stand isolation from the whole world, and in this sphere, Pak army is actually upping the ante against your government. Look at the situation in which Pakistan lies today. Honestly, if you look within, you will realize how far behind you've reached since independence. Keep watching India Today.